It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. Whoa, what happened? Am I loud?
Whoa, what the shit?
What happened?
We welcome you to this portion of the Twilight Zone brought to you by the Greg Cherry brand. What the shit?
What happened? Do I sound bad?
Wow, that's no. We can hear you, but it sounds like you're a kisser. Jesus,
crying out loud! All right, give me a minute. I'll introduce the show in a second.
We're gonna let Greg fix his audio issues because my goodness, he said I feel like we're on the Renegade channel watching Creatures from Black Lagoon. It's Wednesday. It's 7:00. You know what that means on the Greg Cherry brand and the Jeff Meacham Network, of course. Welcome to the Greg Cherry Show. I am Jeff Meacham, the reigning, not defending right now, and we'll get to that in a little bit, WTC Jack of all trades champion. He is the longest reigning WTC champion of all time. The three-time?
Just twice.
Two-time. Somebody's done three.
Don't start.
Greg Cherry.
Don't start predicting my downfall already. Jeez.
Still got the god-awful audio.
Do I still?
It literally sounds like this. It's just ridiculous how bad it is.
Hold on.
Oh, it's clear to everybody but me, apparently. That's not good.
Oh, well.
I wonder if that's me. Okay, let me refresh and see if I can figure out what's going on. Hold on a second.
All right, well, that's a plus. It's not me because I don't know what's going on. But yes, it is Wednesday. It is the Greg Cherry Show. Thank you all for joining us. Jeff will be back in just a second. Am I better now?
No, it's still, you still sound like, it sounds garbled is what it is. It sounds terrible. I don't know what's going on.
Did I sound fine in your earphones?
I literally feel like I'm watching episode 4 of DS9 season 1 where everybody's talking in riddles.
This is going to be a long show, ladies and gentlemen.
It's going to be long. Yeah, pretty much.
But at least I sound better.
All right, let me restart my phone and see if that does the trick. Go ahead and if anybody else can hear Greg, go for it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, if everybody can hear me, fine, then perfect.
Yeah,
I'm going to introduce the show while you do that. On today's show,
man,
we will be talking about the various things in football and wrestling. Once Jeff is back, of course. We will be talking about some weird state laws from the good old state of Colorado. And we will be hitting the Wednesday Q&A. I'm glad the stream is perfect. I don't know. We were talking just fine before the show went live. And, of course, going live, that's when all the crazy stuff happens. But I do want to address this. Normally, I'd save it for the Q&A, but it's a good thing. My friend Kat Burton asked, how long have you been married, Greg? I've been married for over 10 years, actually. As you can see, the wedding ring right here. Boom, right there. Been married to my wife, Jen, for, a little over 10 years this year. It's crazy that we've been together that long. It's crazy that she's put up with me that long, if I'm going to be completely honest. And all the crazy stuff that I do, not just for you people, but just in general. We are going to talk some football wrestling. We are going to talk about some other stuff, obviously. And, of course, the wheel is in play. So if you want a spin on the wheel, football wrestling discussion, weird state laws, and the Wednesday Q&A. If you want a wheel spin, it's available to you. $5 spin obviously gets you a spin on the wheel, and we can entertain ourselves while we wait for Jeff to return. I do want to bring up, because a couple people have asked me when the Wrestling Trivia Challenge tournament starts. That is due to start in 2 weeks' time, November 4th. So it will be a Thursday. So we will be happy to have you all watch that. I need to get some matches filmed. I need to get the questions done. Like, it is getting into crunch time. I need to get some matches filmed just so we have some stuff for that November 4th date. But I'm holding myself to it. I'm putting myself under pressure. To get things done. Hey, look who's back. Hopefully it's better now, because if it's not, we're just gonna have to deal with it.
Bueller.
Jesus Christ. It was definitely the foam.
Okay. It's better now, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm on the laptop. That's why I freaking threw the desk off and said, "The hell with it."
All right, works for me. Hey, we're back in working order. Finally,
All right,
5
pal.
minutes into the show.
Jesus. Like I said, it's Wednesday. You know what that means? Live shenanigans on the Greg Cherry brand.
As always.
As always. And speaking of shenanigans, let me first of all thank my dad's co-host real quick there as he comes into the room. I will say that he helped me upload the closing video for the show today, and he actually is uploading what is ultimately going to be Saturday's episode of Dads, because more shenanigans on YouTube. But JJ's been a big help in this week where I've been trying to get the hell out of the door, go on this cruise. So JJ, I thank you very much. My father thanks you. My family thanks you. And the Jeff Meacham fans, thank you. So there we go.
All right. Well, before we get into our wrestling and football talk, Brett Storm is a lovely human being, and he is a participant in this tournament, and he has graciously sent us some super chat money to get a wheel spin. And of course, I'm not on one screen again, so I'm going to have to go blind for a second. It won't affect what you guys see, but
right. And I will say this: I'm glad to actually, read the ticker on a show I actually executive produced, because I thought the $100 challenge happens right there as it goes in. So
no.
I'm so glad I can not have to be ready to host if I have to.
It's one of those things where if they want to do the $100 challenge for the WTC Championship, it's something that is okay, you have your future shot. It's guaranteed. We just have to get time to film it. It's not like a Money in the Bank deal.
Thank God. I was oh my gosh. Okay, so if we do something, we have to actually, if I have to be a participant, I have to go off camera because I actually put pants on because I'm trying to get out of this door here. So
well, if it's a dance thing, do it in your chair, and you don't have to.
I'm literally on the edge of my bed right now. That's how crazy this room is.
Yeah, so we don't need to get thrown off of YouTube.
No, definitely not.
All right, Brett, here we go. Good luck, sir, and let's hope you get something good.
There you go. I haven't had a few of these yet, so we'll see what happens here.
It's gonna be some macho time.
All right, here goes Jeff's throat for the duration of the flight to Miami. Yeah.
All right, gonna hide the screen, and that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about football. Get into our first.
Well, it's ironic, Greg, that we got macho time today because, as everybody knows, I'm flying out to the cruise today, the Jericho Cruise. We're going out of Miami, which is not too far from Sarasota, not too far from Tampa. The home of the mega powers. And I tell you what, if there's one thing I hope doesn't happen in the world of football and the world of wrestling, is no more mega powers exploding because it's too much on my blood pressure. Yeah,
you want to talk about raised blood pressure? There's no better place to start than with the Cowboys and Patriots game that went to overtime.
Yeah, gotta love when Belichick loses. It happening more and more every game, and it's gonna be a good year. Cowboys are 5-1. Right? Yeah, 5-1. They're leading the NFC East, which isn't so much to brag about, if you know what I'm saying. But because we're Dallas Cowboys cream of the crop NFC, not a big brag moment. Gonna say it. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about headache-inducing and heart attack-inducing games? Look no further than Sunday Night Football when the Pittsburgh Steelers hosted the Seattle Seahawks, and the referees they did their best to give away the game, but the Steelers are like, no, sir, not in our house. And T.J. Watt making a big strip sack in overtime. Yeah, leading to Chris Boswell, the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, he's making those game-winning field goals. And the Steelers are now tied.
These referees think they want a cup of coffee in the big time, but, you're not going to lose if you're the Steelers and Big G's in the house. It's not going to happen. No, it's not.
Yeah, Big G was in the house. Yeah, we were waiting. For Big G to come on the show and talk about his experience, because we would have heard a little good something, about a little something, yeah, if you know what I mean. And what I mean is that the Steelers are now tied for the bottom. They're not just all there alone. They won their last 2 games and now tied with the Cleveland Browns at 3-3. And the Ravens.
It's a weird season. We got Jacksonville actually winning games. Like what's happening in the world of football? I don't understand. Or take it to the stratosphere. Yeah.
All right, my throat is gonna die if we keep going. But there you go, Brett. Yeah. But there you go. Yeah, the Steelers. My goodness, like it looked like the first half they had that game in hand, and then of course it's like, no, you know what? We're going to give heart attacks and coronaries to all of our fans out there watching, and make them stay up later too, taking that game into overtime.
Right. Yeah, because
I don't know if you caught any.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football starts out here at 5:00 for me, so it's like that's a long Sunday night, y'all, for real.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a long Sunday night, even if you were in Seattle too. But
right,
probably exciting that the referees gifted them an opportunity at another play.
Right.
That was ridiculous. Like first of all, the ball was snapped, 0's on the clock. And they went back and reviewed the previous play after the spike was happening, which is a big no-no. And if you want a good example of why not to do that, search Bottlegate on YouTube.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, Cleveland Brown fans will know what I'm talking about with that one. Because
I'm sure if Colin was watching, he'd be like trying to jump in the stream immediately.
Yeah.
God, that was bad. So
I'm not a Browns fan by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, Big G is here.
Oh, there he. Oh,
okay. So yeah, now he wants to be a big shot up in the chat. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Well, he has the link in his description or in his messenger. If he wants to join, feel free to join, because I want to hear. I want to hear your thoughts as somebody who was there, especially since we're talking about Seattle getting a bonus play essentially to get the game time field goal to send it to overtime.
Right.
Well,
he was grocery shopping. He's he's in that same camp as you, as Aaron's about to be whenever that damn wedding goes down. You gotta do the grocery shopping. Gotta happy wife, happy life, brothers. So
yeah. Which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean,
no. Trust me, my dad's in the grocery shopping in our family for years because it's just he just got. My mom didn't want to do it, and he did it, and then just kind of it became the thing. Like every Saturday, he's out there. He just does it. It's part of it's become part of the process. It's the fabric of our family. Dad grocery shops on Saturdays. We take Dylan up to the crazy house, his mother's on Fridays. Stuff like that, and it's just routine. So. It's all good, but you know what? It occurred to me like in the moment this morning. I'm actually going on a cruise single for the first time. Going on a cruise, I'm just like, All right.
It's like I said, make some connections, bring some more eyes to the product, as they say.
Without question. I mean, you got to figure it's a wrestling cruise, so that just lends to the help.
Yeah,
one of my dearest friends is performing 3 nights this weekend with Paradise Kitties, so it's like the connection level will be real. And I had one of those like meta moments yesterday. I was trying to shop for a pair of pants to wear because I didn't have any nice pants to wear like for like the dinners. I don't know if they're gonna have like the formal stuff like they do on regular cruises, but we just want to be prepared, right? I'm walking through Walmart and just on a go over to the section, and I pick up freaking. I like Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian. It's like, dude, my buddies are action figures. What the hell? I was like, yes, it was awesome. Great moment. I wish I'd never thought to take the phone out, but I was on a mission to get through the store. But it was just so cool to see people I've known and worked with for God. Let's see, with Frankie, it's 17 years. Sky, actually, no, with them both at 17 years. So yeah, it was just really cool to see that. So I definitely do gush over both of them on I know Frankie's going to be there. I think Sky's on the cruise, but either way, I'll be gushing over the two of them and just telling that story. It was awesome.
Are they doing like a live broadcast of Dynamite on the cruise?
I don't know. I know it has been stated there's going to be 4 nights of wrestling. So figure if we leave tomorrow, that's Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. So in theory, there could be a live Rampage on Friday, but I don't know what they're doing because I'm pretty sure they taped Friday's show already as far as the actual episode of Rampage. I know Dynamite airs Saturday night because it's airing the same day as Bound for Glory is live. So
yeah,
the non-WWE wrestling fans are going to have a wonderful weekend because they've got Impact and AEW running, and then I know the NWA is recording their pay-per-view on Sunday, so I'm not actually going to air it. I think they're airing like next week. It's going to be a good weekend, whether you're on a cruise ship, heading to the Bahamas, or you're watching wrestling on television. It's going to be good stuff.
Absolutely. And we also have Crown Jewel tomorrow, which Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
We'll go back to football once Big G gets here, but I do want to talk about Crown Jewel because, like, on paper, this card is stacked.
Yeah, this is this is probably the best on paper card they've had in that miserable part of the world. So, and honestly, like I said to you, I think we said it last week on the show, Hell in a Cell being a feud ender, I'm just like, oh, thank God, that's what it's supposed to be for.
Yeah, I mean, like, it drives you nuts when they do the gimmick pay-per-view. They got rid of TLC, which I think, honestly, is a step in the right direction. Like, they need to get rid of the gimmick name pay-per-views. Bring back, like, the Armageddons, the No Mercies, I think they still have Backlash, just regular Backlash, not WrestleMania Backlash. Like Judgment Day, Fully Loaded. Like bring like the Attitude Era names back, and just run the 12 shows a year. You can still do the Super Showdowns and whatever, but like bring some familiarity back to the pay-per-view names.
Think about that for a minute. Just like the names we love, and because you and I are Attitude Era fans, all of those pay-per-view names reflect war. No Way Out, Backlash, Judgment Day, Fully Loaded, Unforgiven, No Mercy, Armageddon, or Vengeance.
Yeah,
like all those tie into some sort of lengthy battle, war, aggressive stuff. They're not in a war anymore, which I think is the conscious effort why they're not doing it.
They did
Mike, Cyber Sunday, like they have the network. That's kind of like, I mean, Cyber Sunday, I liken to Impact's Digital Media Championship. It's like everybody's digital media now. Like to have a title exclusive to just the app, just the network, just the platforms. It's like it feels off. Like okay, and for the record, Cyber Sunday, we're supposed to be the authority anyway. Remember, we're in charge now. We're getting what we want, right? Isn't that what the McMahons told us? So,
I don't think that's being held to them anymore, because if it was, then oh boy,
yeah.
But it is a good looking card. Like the SmackDown Women's Championship match, I think will be probably one of the best triple threats ever if they give them the time to do it.
I would agree with that. I saw when I was making my predictions, and I was talking with a few people. A lot of people are saying Bianca's going to take the fall. It's like they're really high on Bianca right now, and Becky's the champion that's not going to lose, I don't think. So I unfortunately think your girl's going to be the one to take the hit, either by a submission or a pinfall, and that sucks.
I mean, based on the fact that Charlotte retained, I think they're going to do what they did with the New Day and the Street Profits, which is stupid. I don't get why champions can't just stay on their brands. It's like they're the champion. Quit switching them or strip them of the title. Like, figure out some better way than swapping the titles and giving them an extra reign on top of it. It's like you didn't win that. Like the New Day say they're 11-time tag team champions. One of those reigns was the swap.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and not that I'm against giving Charlotte another reign as champion because we got to make sure she catches Nate, but that would be, even for a Charlotte fan, I'd be like, no.
So. And one of Charlotte's reigns was like 4 minutes long.
Right.
And another one was 4 days. So it's like, come on.
Yeah, and
one of the most maddening things ever.
And to be fair, Rick's reigns didn't get that bananas until the very, very end. So
yeah, till WCW 2000.
And you figure Cena's one reign, I know, lasted a few minutes at the Chamber pay-per-view thanks to Batista. So
yep. And he got a 2-week reign when he beat Del Rio and then lost it back in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah.
And he had his last reign was a 3-week reign because he won it at the Rumble and then lost it in the Chamber. So
yeah, which again, I don't mind him catching Rick, but having AJ have that ridiculously good reign and then lose, and then have the guy that beat him lose the next show just made AJ's first championship run look like hot mess, which is why I stand by what I said, that they gave AJ reign number 2 that went over a year because of that. It's like, dude, we're sorry. Here, brother.
and the sad thing is Cena losing to Wyatt, which this is not a shot at Bray Wyatt.
No,
not a shot at Bray Wyatt. His WrestleMania championship match was the worst WWE championship match at WrestleMania that there has ever been. Worse than Triple H Orton.
Would you say that's worse than the 2-minute Yokozuna Hulk Hogan match?
Yes.
Wow. Hot take. Look out.
Here's the thing. I like the Yokozuna Hogan thing was stupid. Don't get me wrong.
Hulkamaniac number 1. Cosign.
It was too short to like reach a bad level of stupidity.
Right.
It was the stuff with Wyatt and like the lighting thing on the ring was cool the first time because it was something different.
Right.
They went back to it twice more in that same match. The second time was like, oh, they're doing it again. The third time was like, come on.
Right.
Like don't like it, doing it once. If you leave it at one time, just as like something to like, okay, what the hell was that? If you leave it at that, I think the overall match quality improves.
Yeah.
But they kept going back to it. And then Wyatt fell to 1 RKO.
Yeah.
It's like like why do Orton's good WrestleMania buildups for championship matches turn into such shit shows?
Yeah, that, and then I was gonna say Bray's, every time we think Bray's gonna get that renewed push or that, that big, they literally shoot him in the knees at WrestleMania. Like literally shoot him in the knees when he gets to Mania. Except for the match with John Cena, the final, that was fantastic. So fun to watch.
The Orton Bray match at this year's Mania wasn't that great. It was like 8 minutes long. It's like,
but yeah, and
then you never saw Wyatt again.
Yeah, and when you factor in that they built that for how long? How long were he and Randy feuding before he got burnt alive? How long did Alexa carry that ball down that field and score touchdown after touchdown? They get to the literal football stadium and they freaking fumble on the 50-yard line.
Oh. No, they fumble at the 1, like, and it goes out of the back of the end zone and it's a touchback.
Well, that's the thing. It was touchback. Bray got touched out of the company, and Alexa just got touched in her character. Just bizarre, just even weirder. So yeah, I actually think Brett's right. It was only a 2-week between Rumble and.
I could have sworn it was 3.
Huh?
It might have been 2 weeks. I thought it was 3.
Either
because
way,
I thought it was longer than between Hell in a Cell and or Clash of Champions and Hell in a Cell in 2012.
Yeah,
2011.
Right.
Not 2012. Cena wasn't champion at all in 2012.
Well, and again, you talk about Bray's championship reigns. He became champion again, and then Roman interfered, and literally the next weekend, that was it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Bray's championship reigns are very forgettable. Well, actually, the second one isn't because everybody shits on how bad the ending of his first Universal title reign was. Oh. Here's the thing. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. Welcome to my TED Talk. How do you have a supernatural character And this goes back to Hell in a Cell 2019.
Oh yeah.
You book yourselves into a corner. You have one match with Balor to get the character over. The next month, after Clash of Champions, you have Wyatt attack Seth Rollins, meaning Wyatt's going to be the next challenger for Seth Rollins. The only logical solution out of that would be Wyatt winning the title. You shouldn't have had another option. And they went the most ass backwards way about it. A no contest for the second straight year in Hell in a Cell. That's another problem I have with the gimmick pay-per-views.
Yep.
When you book yourself into a corner, if you don't give the fans this result, like this is not something that, okay, if you do this, then it can continue the story. It's like, no, you have one result. If Wyatt walks out with the championship at Hell in a Cell, people are happy. Rollins might not turn heel because people might not turn as much on Seth Rollins because he lost the championship there. But they wanted to save it for the Saudi show. Why? I don't know. I mean, it was cool that he got that moment because I think it was one of the first. It was the first world title change over in Saudi.
Right.
So like, and it was on Halloween too. So it's like, oh,
right.
Okay, that I guess whatever.
Right.
But then to have his reign end after a match against The Miz, which was decent, told the story of his like normal character, and then the matches against Daniel Bryan as the Fiend. And then you have him lose to Goldberg in like 3 minutes. This unstoppable, ridiculous force of nature. And you have him lose to Goldberg.
Losing to a 50-something-year-old Hall of Fame inductee. Like, what?
1998, I may have let it pass.
Yeah. Right.
But we're talking 2020.
I would even say 2003 Goldberg. I would have let that go by, but not now. And
2003 would be very questionable, but they were still booking him like WCW Goldberg in 2003.
Right.
Ish. Like he was WWE-ized more in that run than he is these past ones. But
right. I will say this, and again, you know, we tend to get down the rabbit hole with Bray with you know how he was booked. As far as Goldberg goes, I think this is the first match he's having over there where I don't have a fear about how much of a train wreck it's going to be. We didn't think of Undertaker, and then Undertaker literally nearly died. Like, oh my God. He completely destroyed any remnants of a sustainable push for the Fiend / Bray Wyatt. And you know what? Actually, it was the first title change in Saudi, but I'm pretty sure Lesnar, Brett Storm in the chat room, you know, Brett Storm became champion, vacant championship after Roman had to abdicate the title. So,
so I don't consider winning a vacant title a title change because, like, like if you're challenging for a vacant title, obviously there's going to be a new champion. Like, since nobody's the champion going in.
Well,
so,
no, Vegas is champion. He's on Twitter. We know this to be true. So, but anyway, I actually don't. Again, I don't like Goldberg being around. I've made that more than clear. But I actually look forward to seeing what the payoff's going to be with him and Lashley because they've let his verbiage get really far out of the PG norm. Like Goldberg's talking about Lashley's dead and he's going to kill him, and it's like, you're going to a war-torn country talking about stuff like that. That's not a good PG look there, Granddad. So I don't know how they pay this off without, you know, one of them leaving, you know, on a gurney, like for real. Like just somebody's got to get hurt, or it's going to be such a hokey finish. It's like, this is the payoff. Like, this is what started in Vegas that actually was awesome because not only did Goldberg lose, but that Punk kid of his got put in his place, and it was awesome. And this is the payoff. Like, I do worry about that, but I don't worry about Goldberg hurting his opponent like I saw with Undertaker physically, and we saw with Wyatt career-wise. So
Yeah, it's
other than that match, like I said, the card looks good, and they did put a Hurt Business Usos match on the kickoff, which I'm like, yes, I don't care what time of the show it happens, I am all in for this match.
Yeah, that match should be fun.
Yeah.
Granted, like the Hurt Business is on Raw and the Usos are on SmackDown, so it's not a SmackDown tag team title match that I'm aware of.
No, but it leads you to believe that maybe down the line we get the singles match between the leaders of the stables, which I'd be okay with also, because now that Lashley is established as, okay, he's a champion, he's a main eventer, he's one of the guys now at the top of the card, him and Roman now, I'd be all right with 100%.
And you can always send us super chats to like get us off this topic of Goldberg, but yeah.
Anyway,
other than that, Reigns and Lesnar, like this is the first time that they've worked together where the roles are reversed. Reigns is the heel, Lesnar is the babyface.
Yeah.
Which I think is a fun dynamic. And it's actually like we've seen Reigns and Lesnar before, but like there's just something different about this buildup that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. Like I had that moment right now in my head as I'm sitting here with you guys, how long they feuded. Like they had a good long run with each other. And I had forgotten like how deep that went. Because you figure, you know, they were feuding after the 2015 Royal Rumble and that fiasco, which led to the greatest Money in the Bank cash in ever. Yes, I said it. Sorry, Dolph.
I don't disagree. I mean, cashing in at WrestleMania in the main event.
Yeah, I mean,
the way Seth did it.
Yeah,
you're not going to top that one.
That is honestly one of the two reasons why I'm mad that I didn't go when I had the opportunity to go to that WrestleMania, because I had the opportunity to go up to Santa Clara, but I didn't go. The other one, of course, was the room with Rock and Ronda, because that was just ridiculous good. and the NWO, but you know, whatever.
Well, yeah,
but that was a moment in what should have been a different outcome match. I'm like, I'm torn on that one, but yeah, the one with Rock and Ronda was just fantastic. Anyway,
well,
here we go.
We got ourselves a super chat.
Yeah,
I don't know whose channel that's on, but
I don't either. But probably mine would be my guess. WWE books themselves into a corner. This is Walter Cruz. Thank you for $5, Walter. WWE books themselves in the corner, then uses diamondings to bail out of the match, and the worst title reign is Ginger's. Couldn't win once clean.
Heels are not supposed to win clean.
No, and I agree with that. And I was gonna reference JBL for the exact same reason, but there's a difference between Ric Flair and the Horsemen cheating to win or cheating to escape or getting DQ'd in '86 than in 2004 or 2017. Both of those are like, I mean, for me, every single month of it is lazy booking. Is okay, we pulled this trigger, we hit our mark. Now the reign is dead. What do we do with it? Do we keep kicking this horse until we bring it back to life? Like, what do we do there? So I think they happened into something with JBL. And I said this I was talking about this the other day on, I think, either My Talk Wrestling or Aaron's Talk Wrestling. JBL came along at the right time. Like, it was a perfect storm. You know, Ron was going to retire. They needed somebody to feud with Eddie. He and John were great friends, and they remained great friends till Eddie's passing. And JBL was so hated that people could not wait for Cena to take his freaking head off of WrestleMania. But to quote my shirt, here's the thing. The minute Cena became champion, you could already see the time bomb ticking to the fans turning on him. It happened relatively quickly. You figure by SummerSlam, the crowd was with Jericho.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, we hated JBL so much. Thank you, John Cena, for taking the title from him. We didn't want you around long term, though. Why are you champion for 280-something days? Like, well, why? And then, watching Edge get his moment and then lose it back It's like
losing it back in 3 weeks.
Edge and Cena.
That one is 3 weeks. I'm sure about that one.
Yeah, Edge and Cena at WrestleMania for the championship instead of Cena Triple H. Dude, again, Mick Foley Edge not happening would suck, but Cena versus Edge headlining in Chicago after a ridiculous blood feud over Edge doing Cena's reign dirty, dude. That's money in the bank.
I don't want to cut you off, but we do have a spin
good.
to get to because of the super chat, which thank you, Walter. But we also do have another small super chat. So no spin for that one, but this guy Experience donated $1 and said, did they ever explain how the Hurt Business got back together? And also, do you think Brock or Vince is afraid to book Bobby versus Brock? I don't know what the freaking holdup is.
Right?
Unless, and I'm praying this is the truth, they're saving it for WrestleMania. If there is ever the time to book Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, save it for WrestleMania. Put Lashley and Lesnar in the Rumble together, have Lesnar eliminate Lashley, and then like the Hurt Business, much like the Wyatt family did in the 2016 Rumble, attack Lesnar, take him out, and then we actually get the match between Lesnar and the leader of a faction that we were supposed to get 5 years ago instead of that dumpster fire against Ambrose.
I love that booking, and people have talked about, it has to be, it has to be Reigns and Rock at WrestleMania, and Plan B would be Lesnar. It's like, no, Lesnar doesn't need a Plan B for him. Like, put him with Lashley. I love that.
We actually just literally had 2 super chats come in back to back.
Nice.
So Brett, thank you for another spin, which we'll get to yours after Walter's. And this guy Experience, we'll address this and then we'll get to the spins.
Should we just give Brett a bye to the finals at this point? Because he's giving us so much damn money.
No, like he wants to compete in the tournament. Like he wants to earn his spot, which is very admirable. And Brett might run through everybody anyway. Like he's really good.
If we go back and count the donations from Brett, I think he's at 100 now anyway.
He might be, but like if I didn't put him in the tournament, maybe he'd buy that way. But
right.
Anyway, let me address this guy's second super chat, and then we'll get to the spins. Okay. This guy says, "Why don't WWE do these 3 things anymore? Opponent bouncing the head off the rope, causing a distraction the same way." I'm not sure what that means. If a wrestler is in a hold, the referee no longer picks up the arm 3 times to see if they passed out. They still do that, I think.
I haven't seen it in a while, but.
And a beatdown where the referee has to. I think your message got cut off there.
As far as the first question, they didn't really give us a reason why Shelton and Cedric got back together and why they were realigning with Bobby. It just kind of just happened. So, yeah.
All right. I will add this back to the stream, and then bada bing, bada boom. Can you see the wheel?
Yes.
All right.
And
this is,
and we will definitely answer your question in Q&A segment because that's a great question.
Absolutely. We're probably off into the weeds. We're going to get into the weird laws next anyway. Right. Feel free to send more super chats. Like we love you guys for that.
Yes. Although, like I said, Weird Laws Colorado is going to be fun.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. Here is Walter's spin.
Yes. All right, Walter. Oh, no. Keep going. Keep going.
It's right on the edge. Oh, it's an entrance. Okay.
Okay.
So I will do an entrance. And Brett, here's your spin.
So, Walter, I don't know if you've watched Greg's stuff before. You supply us with the entrance you want Greg to do. Oh, crud.
Brett got truth or dare.
I will take truth for the record.
Yeah, so I listen, maybe once I get back in my office, like once I have my full studio, I'll do dare because I don't know what he's going to have us do. So, yeah. And so let me know what entrance you want me to do. Melina is not an option. Actually, you know what? I don't have to do like the ring entrance. Like I can do like the belly dancing thing at the beginning, but I don't have to do the splits. So, and there's no possible way in this hallway that I could. So whatever entrance you want me to do.
And as far as
the truth. Last week's truth or whatever I was on the last time we did the truth there, we were asked our most embarrassing moment in, I think, either wrestling or in our life. So that one's off the table. We already did that. So
Yeah.
Josh, stop enabling. Stop.
I can't. First of all, physically in the space that I'm in tonight, I can't.
No.
But like, it's one thing if I had my long ass desk, but I don't. And yeah.
Are you seeing me long watching the splits, Greg? Anyway,
yeah, Walter, please let me know what entrance you want me to do. Brett, come up with a truth or dare. And we're going to get, while we wait for them, into our next segment, which, of course, is the weird state laws of Colorado.
I like Brett's question already. There you go.
Oh, okay.
He says, "Oh, come on, truth. I can barely think of any questions for that. I guess I'll go with any wrestling trivia questions you were embarrassed to get wrong." I mean, the Greg Cherry rule question definitely comes to mind because you weren't wrong, but
no, I wasn't wrong. I was not wrong. I just quote unquote ran out of time, even though I started the answer beforehand, which is
right.
You know, if you, like I said before, and I'll probably say it till the cows come home. If you start the answer before the buzzer and you keep answering, it counts. It didn't make it. Let me say this. It wouldn't have made a damn bit of difference in the end score anyway.
No.
But it screwed my mindset up so bad that I probably got a couple wrong that I shouldn't have.
Yeah. It's that competitive thing. When you get wronged, not a question wrong, your headspace gets messed up. So
one of them that I will bring this up, and this wasn't a WTC question. This was actually Trivomania. I could not remember for the life of me Jim Neidhart's mask character's name.
Who?
Thanks for that. Yeah, I completely blanked. Like, I saw the picture of him and I could not put the name together. I could not think of it. It cost me the match.
Yeah,
but like it's if I get that right and then get the last question right, I remain champion, and who knows how that would have got. But that question resulted in my sole loss to Mr. Scott Gata.
Yeah, I don't remember. My memory's so crappy, and I've tried to block out the championship reigns because they were so chaotic for me. I don't remember one particular one. It just, anytime I lost, always sucked. I hate losing. Everybody knows that on this at this point, but I can't remember a question that I was embarrassed to get wrong that I recall. You being the question maker more often than you have been prior to your championship reigns, you might remember a question you gave me that would throw me off, but I honestly don't remember off the top of my head. I know it's a lame answer, but
honestly, like, I kind of forget the questions that I write up. Because I have to write so many. As soon as we get off the air, I'm going to have to put it into freaking overdrive to get these questions done, because I still have a long way to go and I still have matches to film. I gotta get a hold of people, get some matches filmed, and all that stuff.
And while we're on that topic, before we go into the weird laws, Greg and I did talk. We are putting Jack of all trades on hold until after the tournament. So because it will be my longest reign. Woo!
I mean, technically you already have it, but
true.
Yeah, the reason for that was more so for my sanity, because I've been trying to ask people, some big names, honestly, to participate, and once I show them all the stuff that they need to do, they're just not getting back to me. It's listen, I'm trying to make these things happen. If the person that would have responded with positive, to record this past Monday, Jeff, I would have told you, I don't care what you're doing, you're going to be on the studio Monday. I'll tell you off air who I was talking about.
Yeah, well, if I'm back in port and back at the house by then. So
no, this past Monday.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I would have told you, I don't care what you're doing, you're defending your title on Monday, deal with it.
Got
it. Josh, I've tried to get Adam on. I've tried, and I don't know whether he just doesn't want to do it, or he mentioned at one point wanting to do it, but scheduling issues and whatever the case may be.
By the way, talking about people that are hard to get a hold of or hard to book. Let me say this out there to everybody right now watching. I'll go ahead and briefly say this. People seem to think I have an issue. Huh?
If you're 1 second, if you're gonna, I'm gonna send you a message.
Okay. Well, no. Okay.
Before you get into that.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay, don't do that, please.
Well, no. I nothing negative.
Okay.
People seem to think I have a problem with Sean Ross Sapp. I don't. I don't. Sean, I love Sean. I respect Sean tremendously. I asked one question. I got buzzed for it. I felt inappropriately. And it is what it is. It's a Twitter disagreement. Y'all grow up as far as out there that are, pumping up the drama. I have a problem with Sean. I love Sean. So get over it, guys. Seriously. Anyway.
I like Sean too.
He's great. And he like you and he, like, we're all the hardest working guys in show business. Like, it's just, he does so much.
He does it. Like, I have tried to get him on shows too. And it's one of those things where I feel like I'm going to have to like book Sean like months in advance.
Right.
Kind of like Denise, although I feel like I have to book Denise like 2 years in advance.
Yeah. When Denise isn't busy, she's busy. Like, it's bananas. So,
yeah. And when she's not super busy, she's asleep.
Right. And then her mind's busy with the things for the next day. So
yeah. Denise Salcedo is probably legitimately the hardest working person
in podcasting. Yeah, for real.
In like the wrestling media and otherwise, like, she's always doing stuff. So props to Denise. And this is just us gushing over random wrestling personalities.
Yeah. Yes.
But
all right,
it is what it is. I respect Sean. I respect Denise. They do good work. Let's get into the laws until I'm still waiting on Walter to send in his.
Oh, jeez, there it is.
Send in his. Did he send it? Because I was looking at the donations.
It's in the chat room.
Oh, jeez. All right.
See, I could do this. I actually do a pretty good Goldberg. I just don't feel like standing up right now. So,
yeah. All right. Give me a second. Let me pull up his entrance.
And please do the WWE music. The WWE brand music was crap.
Oh, I'm using the WCW. You think I'm using the WWE remake? Like, come on, Jim Johnston. You can do better than that.
Right. You know what? And I will say this. I've gushed over my fandom of the Vegas hockey team, the Golden Knights. The one thing I had a problem with in their presentation, their Thunder March, when their cheerleaders walk out to the stage outside of the arena, is Goldberg's thing. I'm sitting there going, go Kings, go, you bastards.
Yeah. Goldberg's not even from Vegas. He's from Atlanta.
I know.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but Atlanta and good sports teams, except for the Braves, not so much. So,
well, didn't the Dodgers tie up the series?
They actually got the first win last night.
They're still behind again.
Yeah, they're still behind. God, they have to win out pretty much at this point. So,
well, the Braves decided to have like 2 walk-off games in a row, didn't they?
Well, yeah, and yeah, it's been a bonkers National League side of the playoffs so far.
I've only followed what I've seen on Twitter, because once the Yankees got eliminated, I could give a shit less.
And to Boston at that, which was just barf.
Don't rub it in.
I'm not trying to, trust me. I'm trying to band-aid that shit.
All right. I'm going to have to shove the chair back into my office and then bring it back. So, and no, I am not going to headbutt a door because, I don't want to get concussed and then lay here for the next 20 minutes while Jeff finishes the show.
They just renovated the house. Are you kidding me? They're going to break the house? Come on.
I mean, these doors could that one has a hole in it, so maybe. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, but if you headbutt the hole, then you're stuck in the hole. Then we have a whole other situation.
If you want me to headbutt the door, $250 super chat.
Jesus. So you can fix the door afterwards.
Yeah, to pay my medical bill. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on.
There you go. Just a random growl.
I had so much phlegm come up in my throat when I did that first thing. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and yes, I was. If you're going to ask in the chat room, I was purposely trying to sound like piped in chats because that's what it really was. Especially at the end. That's right. This is what we do for you kids. We do low budget shit when we have to just to get the show on the air. Damn it.
Josh says, "Don't tip Big G with that super chat bet."
Right.
Hey, if he wants to pay $250 to watch me headbutt a door,
seriously,
feel free.
I mean, I wouldn't do it only because it costs a little more than $250 to fix my concussion out here in California because we suck. But anyway, speaking of weird laws,
cost you $250 to get the gas to go to the doctor.
I mean, you're not wrong. Especially my dad's car.
All right, weird state laws. Let me just double check the super chats. Make sure
state laws, as Josh says, and again, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like I said, with weed being the first state to legalize weed, these laws are bound to be even more absurd than we've had so far. Although my home state definitely screwed me last week,
and we didn't even scratch the surface there. All right,
no,
here we go.
Colorado. That should be illegal anyway.
Yeah. One may not mutilate a rock in a state park.
Okay, that's when you know you should put the puff down. When you're trying to mutilate a rock in a park, puff pass, guys. Stop puffing and pass that shit. Like for
it is illegal for liquor stores to sell food or grocery stores. Sorry, I was reading that wrong. Is illegal for liquor stores to sell food or grocery stores to sell any alcohol except beer that is at most 3%.
I actually don't mind that. And I say that because, grocery stores tend to upcharge for liquor. And if you're buying your groceries at a liquor store, you need to evaluate your priorities. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. It is illegal to ride a horse while under the influence.
As it should be worldwide.
These are actually making sense. Like maybe that's the thing. Maybe getting high in Colorado is making the laws in the state make sense.
Maybe this
is that the thing?
Every person I talk to that's a regular partaker of the ganja, like it helps your shit. So it's like maybe there's this haze in the legislative building that's making everything better.
I guess.
That's tremendous. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You should not be operating a horse if you're under the influence of anything because you don't know what that horse is going to do. You don't know what you're going to do with that horse. So let's just never the parties shall meet. Okay.
In Alamosa, Colorado, throwing missiles at cars is illegal.
Okay. Here's where we bring up the question we do every week. How many times did this happen?
Well, first of all, I doubt that the force generated from your arm to throw a missile is going to be that effective.
Yeah. And if you're holding an actual missile with an actual warhead attached to it in your hand, you're higher than you need to be. Okay. You're higher than Rob Van Dam needs to be. Okay. Seriously.
Well, speaking of, in Alamosa, keeping a house where unmarried persons are allowed to have sex is prohibited.
I got nothing there. I got nothing. It's too easy.
In Aspen, Colorado.
Oh, here we go.
Catapults may not be fired at buildings.
Does that keep people going off the ski jump?
I guess.
I mean, it should, right?
This is okay. In Boulder, Colorado,
Oh no, Boulder's always good.
it is legal to challenge a police officer, but only until he or she asks you to stop. So what you do? You go up behind him, smack his hat off, and be like, "What you gonna do, copper? Huh? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh,
Sir, please stop."
No. Oh, okay. Like, is that how that works? Like, you can
And
taunt
again-
the police officer as much as you can until they're like, "Stop it, stop it."
And it's like, again, with the catapult thing and with this, how many times has this happened before it actually was written into the books? Like,
How many annoyed police officers went to their like
the council people
representative and was like,
yeah.
all right, this guy's annoying the shit out of me. Can you at least make it illegal for him to do that, or like punishable or something?
And yeah, it's and Boulder, Colorado is such a shit show half time anyway. So,
Well, here's one that you're gonna have to think about.
oh boy.
Also in Boulder, Colorado, boulders may not be rolled on city property. Then what's the point of your city?
Now, do they mean actual rocks, or do they mean like the citizens can't roll themselves down the street? I'm asking for a friend here.
I doubt the citizens of Boulder call themselves boulders.
What do they call themselves? Boulderians? That sounds even stupider.
Boulderites. I don't know.
Boulderites.
Stalactites. Oh, that's caves.
It doesn't matter how you phrase the word boulder; they all sound stupid.
In Denver, Colorado,
Oh boy,
you're not legally allowed to have a good football team. No.
John Elway shames you for that, kind of.
It happens. They haven't won a Super
But even
Bowl
he
in
knows.
years. Yeah. They haven't won one since 50. So who cares?
I know.
In Denver, Colorado, it is unlawful to lend your vacuum cleaner to your next door neighbor.
Why?
I have questions if it's about the usage of suction, but
Well, yeah. I mean, again, with it being
like how
illegal
many
there's
people got like? Do people just not give them back? Do people give them back broken? Like
I know what it was. If enough people are sharing the same vacuum cleaner, they're going to figure out what that bristle brush thing is for, and we're not supposed to know what that is. So, collective thoughts together. Just saying.
Yeah, interrupting the laws. This guy sent another dollar super chat. Appreciate it. What AEW star do you think would be better in WWE, and vice versa?
I think somebody asked me this question the other day. I'd rather not. And again, I have hypotheticals anyway. I always have. I don't want to see somebody that's doing well in AEW or even not doing AEW go to WWE just to change. Like, I want them to develop and make themselves better in that company and make the company better. Like, I will say this: I don't see the Jurassic Express thing getting over in WWE like it has in AEW, because AEW's got that indie feel, whereas the Luchasaurus thing in WWE would be like, really?
Well, they also probably don't want to license the music. Like Tony Khan will
Oh yeah,
pay a lot for license.
Well,
music.
Except for Final Countdown, apparently.
Well, would you want to pay $500,000 per use? I wouldn't.
If I knew I could raise the money to have Brian have his song back, I would do it tomorrow, like, for real.
It would have to justify the means. Like Bryan Danielson would have to draw in that much money for every show to justify the usage. Like, if you're not selling enough in tickets to justify the usage of one person's theme song, it's not worth it. Like Mikey Ruckus is doing a good enough job with putting the themes together.
I like I like Brian's song. Don't get me, Brian's song.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a whole other story. I like Brian's theme music in AEW, but like I said, I miss Bryan Danielson from 11 years ago. I miss that theme. Anyway, I mean, right off the top of my head, MJF would work in any freaking company. He's just such a son of a bitch. It's so great.
A lot of people say MJF to WWE just because, but would they ruin him? Is the question.
That's my fear. I think if they keep Max intact, he'd be great. If they change him up in any way, he's dead in the water. So,
I think the only person right now that could make the transition and maintain their star power, Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I feel like he knows his value enough to say, okay, like if I'm signing this contract, like I'm going to have a decent world title run. Like I'm going to be a big time player. If you're signing me for anything less than that, I'm not interested. Which I don't blame him. Like,
no, when you figure WWE had their hands on him, like before he became the guy he's become.
Yeah.
Figure the first time I saw him, as far as on any consistent basis, was in 2009 when he became the PWG champion. And, you know, that was after his WWE developmental, but like I knew that like when he won the Battle of Los Angeles and became the champion and we took that picture, I thought, dude, I don't know when it's going to happen. This guy's going to be a megastar. He had everything going for him except a contract. And my goodness, he went to Japan and the rest is history, brother. He'd be a great WWE superstar. I just don't know if, like, I honestly, his work in AEW has been, people all, you know, he's taken a step back from being how great he was in the ring. It's like people need to stop rating Kenny Omega on the Meltzer scale and rate him on the entertainment value overall. He is an entertaining, obnoxious, you want to see this guy get obliterated heel. Don being there definitely helps. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But Kenny on his own right now is just a son of a bitch. Like you want Hangman Page to just tear him apart at full gear. Mm-hmm. Same with the Bucks. You know, everybody knows I, you know, was in Indies as the Bucks were really starting to come into their own, man. I've watched them become this phenomenon, and I'm proud to have known them for as long as I have. You know, those three guys I think would do very well, but they've all been on the other side already in the undercarriage of the ship, and didn't get promoted or called up or anything. So that's why I don't like the question of, you know, one of the going to the other. It's like, no, let them be where they are and let's get this war going, man.
If I was going to say WWE guy to AEW, Kevin Owens,
which might not be too far off from happening. So,
this guy also sent another super chat, which this guy greatly appreciated as always.
Yes.
Speaking of Colorado, how would you book Bobby Lashley's Triple Crown win? He has a world title. He's a former U.S. champion and technically ECW champion. He's also a former Intercontinental champion 2 times over. He just needs the tag titles. Also, how would you book his Grand Slam? He needs the tag titles for both, honestly.
Right.
To get the Triple Crown for the world, the Intercontinental, and the tag, he gets the Triple Crown, and he also gets the Grand Slam because he was U.S. champion too. So who would be a good tag team partner for Lashley? I mean, you could do like a Hurt Business Freebird rule.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
And like have like once he's away from like a main event scene for a little bit so other people can get their shot at Big E, like you could do like Lashley and Benjamin or Lashley and Cedric, Lashley and MVP, maybe even becoming tag team champions. Like you could do that and just have the Hurt Business run roughshod over everybody. Like have the Hurt Business be the ones to take down RK Bro.
There you go.
And let Lashley, Lashley and MVP just had the shot a little bit ago before Orton's WWE title match. So, you know, why not revisit that and like have the Hurt Business just be a unit like the New Day? Like the Freebird rule works clearly. I mean, nobody had a problem with Woods and E defending the title one night and then E and Kofi, and then, you know, any combination of the three were defending the tag team titles, and they had that 1.5 year long reign. So
to answer, there you answer in the chat room, but Lashley actually was Intercontinental champion at WrestleMania 35.
Yep.
2019.
Yep. And he won it earlier in 2019 from Dean Ambrose in a triple threat.
Right.
So lost he was 2-time Intercontinental champion.
Yeah, lost it in a 2-on-1 handicap match with Leo because Leo lost it for him.
Yeah, Leo lost it for him, and then Lashley won it like a week or so later on Raw.
A month actually, but yeah, it's still relatively quick. And then he had it till Mania. Yeah, him and Finn had a good little run there, and I'd forgotten about that too.
Yeah,
so
that's why you have me.
That's it. That's why you're the 4-time, not 4-time. That's why you're the longest reigning champion. I'm the 4-time champion. That's why you're the longest reigning champion ever.
Yeah. Yeah, you said I was 3-time. I was like, I hope I'm not 3-time because that means I lost it.
Right. And then the world will stop turning.
I will say this: it's very possible that I will lose the championship based on who's in this field. Like, I don't want to face Cass. I don't want to face Brett. No. I'm going to have to face one of them, maybe, or maybe somebody will come out of nowhere and win this thing. Like, it could be like Professor Nick Harrison, who like, he hits some intricacies in wrestling that only like true wrestling fans get. Like, watching his TikToks and stuff. Like, he could be a force to be reckoned with. Like, yeah, it's.
And yes, Brett, we do know the U.S. title isn't part of the Triple Crown, whatever reason.
Yeah, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I said World Intercontinental.
Well, no, but the way it was worded may have come off in people's heads. Like, Lashley needs a tag championship either way for either recognition because he's never been tag champion in WWE. So, but yeah, the Triple Crown is the Triple Crown will always be the end all be all. WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, which is the Workhorse Championship, and then a tag title run. So, you figure the first person to do it was Pedro Morales, which Pedro gets nowhere near enough credit for what he did in WWE. And then you had Brett, who was the second one, and Brett was like the guy that made the Triple Crown what it was. So, and
a lot of people don't remember Pedro Morales being a Triple Crown winner. But
it's because his IC run was, after he had been the world champion, he had been tag champion briefly with the guy he, was feuding with Bob Backlund. So, it was kind of just a weird place in history. But yeah, Brett, 2-time tag champion, 2-time IC champion. And then he became the world champion. It's like, oh, wow, he's done everything. And then, of course, as Sean and Brett do, when Sean became European champion, it's like, well, I'm better. I'm Grand Slam champion. It's, that's a good one, pal. We'll go with it. So, and now Grand Slam is just everything now. So,
there's various meanings to the Grand Slam. Like, the original Grand Slam was the WWF title, Intercontinental Tag Team, and European. Somewhere along the line, they added hardcore to like substitute for the European. So technically speaking, if the Undertaker came out of retirement and won the Intercontinental Championship, he'd be a Grand Slam champion. Sheamus is an Intercontinental title away from being a Grand Slam champion, and he's finally on the same brand as the Intercontinental champion. So a lot of people actually want to see Sheamus become a Grand Slam champion, which after the year he's had, do it.
Yeah. And by the new definition, it's a world title either side, Intercontinental, US, and tag either side. So Sheamus is there as far as the current Grand Slam goes, because he's been everything.
He's been WWE, he's been World Heavyweight also. He's been Raw, SmackDown Tag Team Champion, US Champion a couple times.
Yep.
He just needs the IC.
Yeah, and then it's funny, to this day, there are still only 2 people that I remember off the top of my head that have held every championship in a division, like either light heavyweight or cruiserweight, US, IC, European, hardcore, a world title, a tag title. There's only 2 in WWE history that I know of that have done all that.
Jeff Hardy and Jericho.
Yes, sir. Because Jeff Hardy was a heavyweight champion. Yes, remember that, kids? It was a thing in 2001. And then Jericho is just the GOAT because he's Chris Jericho. So,
yeah, Jericho long needed that U.S. title and got it in like 2017.
Right?
Yeah, 2017. And it was like, finally, Jericho's U.S. champion. Finally, like,
dude, and people are losing their mind. You're meeting Chris Jericho. It's like, I met Chris a couple years ago at a book signing. I'm wearing his dad's Era Kings jersey, so I was like totally. We were marking out over that more than we were about Chris Jericho, because his dad was the original King. So, and Ted's going to be there. I'm so happy I get to meet Ted Irvin. Hopefully,
this guy says, "I wonder if they would add King of the Ring in there. King of the Ring is not an official championship,
right?
like
Noah's
a
Royal
Rumble win, like a Rumble win, like Money in the Bank. Those aren't official championships. They're accolades, but they're not championships.
And if you go with adding those things to the Grand Slam, the current Grand Slam,
I mean, Sheamus is there. He's got a Rumble, a King of the Ring, and Money in the Bank. He's got all
as
three.
does Edge.
As does Edge. Yep. All right, we're gonna get a couple more laws, then we're gonna hit the Q&A because there's no Dynamite tonight. I would like to be done by like 8:30, so 20 more minutes.
Yeah, we're good.
Hit a couple more weird laws, and then get into the Q&A.
Greg in the chat room, Tim was 6. We're broadcasting to children. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Don't make I already feel old because my birthday's in a couple weeks. Like don't
I graduated high school in 2001. You guys suck.
So my brother. All right. In Denver, Colorado.
Damn Denver.
This is uncomfortable in this day and age.
Oh, here we go.
You may not drive a black car on Sundays.
Good thing that's worded the way it is. Anyway,
yeah, because any other way, it'd be way worse.
Well, because in that's right. Lesnar also has all 3 of those. I forgot about that. Lesnar's done all those.
Yep.
Nobody remembers he won the Rumble.
What's that?
Nobody remembers that, but he did.
Yeah, he won his first Rumble.
Crazy.
In Durango, California.
Colorado.
This is definitely not good for this day and age. It is illegal to go in public dressed in clothes unbecoming on one sex. Yeah, that law does not work in 2021.
Just next. Good. Wow.
Yeah. Durango, get with the times. Let me look for a good one to close on.
Oh, you found one.
I found one, but just because you can word it, I'll let you make your own jokes on this one. In Vail, Colorado, no one may keep junk close to someone else. Good night, everybody.
Wait! You said it so fast. I missed the punchline. What was it?
I said no one may keep junk close to someone else.
And it's time for Q&A here on the Greg Cherry Show. We'll move right along. And wow. Would you count Bobby as 2-time world champion? Yes, I would.
Yeah, if you count the ECW title, sure. I mean, because you can't exactly count his Impact reigns in there because it's separate companies. But I still classify the ECW championship as a world championship. So guys like John Morrison, Mark Henry won the world heavyweight title, so he was already world champion. Matt Hardy, Swagger was world champion too. Damn it.
Big Zeke.
Big Zeke was ECW champion also.
The last one at that.
Yep.
Oh, by the way,
Chavo,
yeah. Before we move on to the Q&A, I loved when Tony had the ECW alumni out there for that tribute in Philadelphia. Yeah. Punk walked out there and said, I thought you were out here because I was ECW champion. I fell out laughing. I was like, God damn it, Phil. And he's saying it totally tongue-in-cheek just to be a dick. It's so funny.
I mean, Brett's right. Lashley is a 2-time ECW champion. That's right.
Which is why he is making me sweat for your championship reign.
Well, if he can answer them as fast as I can, then we're in for it.
No, and you know what? Josh is right, too, because when they were building up to Drew challenging Lesnar, it was actually written on WWE.com. The NXT Championship was a world championship, which I've said from the beginning. So.
Which it should be. Like, it should be treated as that. So Gargano's a world champion. Ciampa's a 2-time world champion.
Adam Cole is
a world champion. Karrion Kross is a 2-time world champion.
All those people that have held the NXT Championship were a champion of at least until this 2.0 nonsense. And I'm still not sold on it yet, but it's getting better. Those guys were champion of a brand that was, quite frankly, keeping the hardcore wrestling fans invested in the damn company.
Yep.
So
Braun Breaker's winning the NXT title.
What's that?
Braun Breaker is winning the NXT title.
I want it to be Braun Breaker winning it with Chucky helping him just because it's a thing on Tuesday's show.
You know what? Do it. If you want to talk about long-term storytelling, 23 years ago, 24, whatever it was,
98,
when Rick Steiner cut that promo, little did he know that his son would benefit from Chucky's experience.
And honestly, can you imagine the ridiculousness of a fallout of Chucky costing Ciampa the championship? Can you imagine?
But you know what? If it was to anybody else except the son of Rick Steiner,
It's useless.
yeah, it's useless. But because of who it is, people may give it a pass because it's like, that's perfect because it was Rick Steiner's son getting the help from Chuck. That's the only way it makes sense. And it's hilarious. It's unintentionally hilarious, but it's still hilarious.
My dad was asking me about the Chucky thing. It's like, well, remember, he was via satellite in 98. The technology now, he could cause some serious damage on Tuesday. Chris, we answered that earlier. We're moving the Jack of all trades defenses till after the WTC World Title Tournament because of just Greg sanity remaining the thing.
Considering I don't have any, I do have questions ready for the tournament, but I don't have them all done. Right. And I have 2 weeks to get them all done and get at least one match recorded before November 4th. So
gotta get her done.
Yep. It's like, hey, you want a hectic birthday week? Do that. No, it's not a problem.
That's fine. You're good.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Just want to address it. Let's find a couple questions here.
Yes. And yes, Samoa Joe's world champion WWE, but he's also a world champion before that because he was a badass Ring of Honor world champion too.
I want to address this. It's not a question necessarily. Arizona, the team to beat so far in the NFC. They're undefeated. They're undefeated, Jeff.
I know that.
I know that one loss, but
I'm not saying they're not. Yeah, they're definitely a bit, but the Cowboys are nipping at their wings. So,
yeah, I'm surprised that the Tampa Bay is not still brought up because Tampa Bay still has the Brady experience, and good God, Brady's going to play till he's 65.
I was going to say Brady has honestly, like even if the Bucks lose the next couple of games, you're still going to worry about Brady until it's mathematically done. So
you're going to worry about Brady throwing against your team till he's in a grave.
He's. I'm just saying, in the course of the season, until the stats say they can't go any further, you're going to worry about Tom Brady. So,
yeah. Culture asked a question earlier. Your favorite Hell in a Cell match of all time? I'm biased. I'm going with the one.
I was going to say, let's guess each other's because I think I know yours, but
mine's obvious.
Okay, well, yeah,
take
2012 WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, Taker and Triple H with Shawn Michaels as a guest referee in Hell in a Cell because I was there. So yeah, I'm kind of biased.
Right.
If that one's not yours, I'm trying to think of a really good one. Shawn and Triple H at Bad Blood 2004.
Yep.
Nice.
But you said exactly like you said it. If it wasn't the one from WrestleMania, because the one from WrestleMania is my favorite. It's just so like somebody asked me yesterday about that match. Like I talked about Shawn having the meltdown after super kick. I was doing the same thing in the apartment living room. I was losing my mind.
Dude, that crowd reaction once Shawn hit the super kick was like, no, like even me, I'm like, no, not this way.
Dude, you can literally hear the air sucked out of the open air arena.
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible?
Like, yeah, T-Fame, myself, and Jen were all going nuts.
Yeah.
Like, all three of us were like, ah! Yeah. It's like, the streak's going to end here. And then Taker kicked out, and it was like that was probably the best near fall I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, and Shawn reacting after the kick out, reacting like the Rock still on the stunner was just tremendous. He was bouncing over the damn ring like he was 20 years old. Like, Jesus Christ, Shawn. Oh, man.
Where will AEW's first outdoor stadium show be? Chicago Fire, Soccer Stadium, Yankee Stadium, somewhere else?
If it's not in a place they've had a lot of like in Florida, in the East area, I would. And again, this is going to piss Christian off a lot. I'd love their stadium to be where LAFC plays out here, where the sports arena used to be. I would love to see an AEW stadium show out here in LA. That'd be freaking awesome.
I want to see a wrestling show in Notre Dame Stadium.
There you
I don't know if there ever has been one, at least not to that level.
Right.
But I would go to South Bend for that. Like, I
Right.
still want to go to South Bend for a game. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things where there are a lot of outdoor stadiums that aren't these monumentally large things like SoFi or Giant Stadium or whatever, but MetLife Stadium, stupid sponsorship crap. But there's a lot of choices, so there you go.
Yeah. For Q&A, speaking of changing Edge match results, would you rather change Mania 26, the match versus Jericho for the world title, or the triple threat, or any other Edge matches? Which Edge match would you change the result of? And you can't say the Rumble where he lost the title to Cena because you already brought that up.
No, right, no. That's number one on my list for sure. And you know what? The match with Jericho, looking back at how the world title evolved over that year, I'd probably change it because Swagger's world title reign was a mess.
Yeah, but then Swagger would have cashed in on Edge if you kept that the same.
Well, no. I'm saying Jack doesn't cash in on Edge is what I'm saying there. So then,
then what does he do? Or do you give the Money in the Bank to somebody else?
I give the money to somebody else for one thing.
Who would you have given it to in that match?
And I'll have to look who's in that match, to be honest with you. I don't remember who's in that match.
There was 10 guys in that match. So
that's what I'm saying.
I think you had Drew McIntyre in there. I feel like you had Kofi. I feel like Mark Henry was in there too.
I think
he may have been the year before.
Yeah, if Drew was IC champion, which I think he was at that point, I would have given it to him just to give him an even bigger I'm the chosen one. See, I told you so. And then if he cashes in on either champion, I'm good. Way good. But anyway, figure if the world title doesn't get cashed in on, you've got the progression of no. If Edge, okay. So let's see, because Swagger cashed in, Mysterio's world title run, the second one was The thing with Kane was weird. The feud with Kane Undertaker was even weirder. And then Edge got it back at the end of the year anyway. So changing that one, maybe not a big deal because he was world champion at the end of the year anyway. The match this year, I wouldn't change. Roman Reigns needs to be the guy. He has been the guy. He needs to be the guy. Mine, for me personally, I would. I mean, if there's any Edge one I would change outside of the match with Cena, it's Unforgiven against Cena also, because
in Toronto,
that was like Edge's redemption day, because he went into that same arena 2 years before and they booed him as the defending Intercontinental champion. He was like, all right, fine. And then when he walked back in there to face Cena, it was like freaking Gretzky walked into the Edmonton Oilers arena, like crying out loud.
I got mine.
Okay.
Him versus Mr. Kennedy for the briefcase.
There you go. And yeah,
I hated so much as a Mr. Kennedy guy that they did that to him, because his injury was not that bad, and he said he was going to cash in at Mania 24. He ended up wrestling at Mania 24. So my God, like, why would you take that away from him? Like,
he wrestled at 24 in the Money in the Bank match and didn't win.
Yeah.
Who's booking this crap? Oh, wait. No, we know.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, Brett, of those people in the Money in the Bank, I'd probably have either McIntyre or have Ziggler win it earlier than he did. Because Ziggler wasn't really, no, because Ziggler wasn't like the white hot he got after
Ziggler
that.
Ziggler was still like,
he was still shaking hands and being an idiot. Yeah. God, definitely. Drew's definitely the top of my list, because Drew, I think if Drew, even he said, if he had his head on straight back then, he'd have been a tremendous world champion back then. Definitely Drew. I'm assuming they're saying Matt Hardy, because because Jeff Hardy was in TNA at that point. I say either McIntyre or Kofi, I guess.
There you go.
I've always liked Kofi. So anyway, carry on. Here we go.
That might have been all our questions, unless I find one more.
There were some kind of spliced in there, like as we were going along here. Let's see here. I love the people in the chat were talking about being hyped for the WTC tournament. That just makes my day.
I'm glad they are because I want to make it good.
Yes.
That was an earlier one.
There we go. All right. So Macho, we heard that earlier. I can't do it as well as I used to, but I used to do a pretty mean Bullwinkle, Rocky Bullwinkle. But just Bullwinkle. Rocky, I can't get that high pitch. I'm not Frankie Valli. Thank you very much. There's actually quite a few. I saw the one comment talking about, I should do the whole show as Shockmaster. That means I have to purposely do Ole Anderson's voice. I'm not willing to do that on any level to any of you people because we love you in the audience. And we don't want to subject to Ole's voice ever. But that'd be cool to do a show as Uncle Fred. That'd be pretty funny. See impressions. Like I said, Randy.
If we do a Halloween show or something next week,
yeah,
you'll be back for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll do a Halloween show next week.
Yeah, the only thing I'm missing for sure is Monday because I don't know what time I'm getting back into Miami Port. I know what time we're getting back into LAX. I don't know what time we're getting back up here. So all
right. So there you go. Halloween show next week. We'll have fun.
Yeah, and if I get myself worked up, I can really do it. I can do a pretty good Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? So it's kind of
yeah. All right. To close this out, we have one more. Well, now we have this one. We do have a super chat from this guy, but I'll address Chris first. Thoughts on AEW beating the commercial-free part of SmackDown? I don't look into it that much because SmackDown was not on Fox. Right. They were on FS1.
Yep.
So don't look too much into that. Like, good for AEW, but like, quit bragging until you beat SmackDown on Fox.
And having been there Friday night in Ontario and then going back and watching them both, SmackDown was a good show Friday night. It really was.
Yeah. Listen, I watched Sasha and Becky. You weren't pulling me. Like, you could have had like the greatest match in AEW history. You're not pulling me away from Sasha Banks and Becky for free on TV.
No,
you're not doing it.
No,
commercial free at that.
And
a pay-per-view quality match involving Sasha. Yeah, I'm watching that.
I haven't watched the entire end segment, so I don't know how it came off on TV. But that moment when Brock said that his advocate looked over the contract, you talk about air going out of a building. Dude, Roman was bleeding lasers through him, and we were like, oh, like, oh man.
That's all the segment was, but that's all it needed to be.
Yeah. What was great is they went off the air, and Paul, I'm gonna go to the Wizards a little bit. Paul went into this, promo talking about, ladies and gentlemen, let me clear a thing. And he tried to say my name, and we all went along with him. He pulled the Dwayne. He goes, "You don't get to say it with me." So again, ladies, gentlemen, things that live in California, and we're like, yeah, we started booing him, and then we did it again to him, and Roman takes the freaking, and Paul goes, "You're pissing me off," and Roman, "You're pissed," and backs him into the corner.
Yeah,
we were like, oh man, Paul's gonna die. Roman cuts this scathing. I'm gonna come back out here later for the troops match. I'm wearing my ass whooping clothes on, and we're like, oh shit. And he came out. Spoiler alert: King Nakamura got knocked off the throne in tribute to the troops. Like, damn, Roman was an angry bastard.
Anyway. Did he come out with the title? Just asking.
Yes, both him and E were announced as champion for their match to the troops.
Gotcha. So
and Dylan Garcia sang the anthem, so my heart was all a flutter. I think I've heard her sing it live in a long time. So,
all right, this guy experience, and then if anybody has any more super chats, send them now because we're heading off the air shortly.
I didn't see the news from Ripley, Josh Tim, so I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't know what he's talking about either. How long do you think, unless he's talking about like the missing gear, which I saw
that was funny.
How long do you think Kofi would have held the WWE title if he had won it back in 2009? And would Kofi versus Seth be a good feud? I'm sure Kofi versus Seth would be a good feud. They're both good workers, and I think they would have an interesting dynamic. They're not on the same show right now, so
right.
Kofi's back on SmackDown. Seth went back to Raw. So maybe at some point they'll have a feud against each other, but not anytime soon. And as far as Kofi being champion back in 2009, his opportunity, it probably would have been early 2010, honestly.
Yeah. What do you want to make?
either winning Money in the Bank or like winning the Rumble or something. Like Kofi probably would have been a decent WWE champion. I think waiting on him though was the right call, because I think people would have thought a little bit less of Kofi if he won the championship that early, because he was only 2 years by like 2010 WrestleMania, like just a little over 2 years into the company. So people might have thought it's like, oh, he's too new, like he's not over, blah 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 blah. Like naturally letting him get that momentum behind him for WrestleMania 35 and having that moment at WrestleMania made it way better.
It is very rare, and you guys know this about me at this point of my career, that I get overly emotional on behalf of somebody else. When that end sequence was going down, I ran down the hall, grabbed the kid, brought him in here, and watched Kofi celebrate as champion, because that was his guy. And we were both just tickled pink, because he abandoned Kofi for Baron Corbin when Baron Corbin was still a badass, but man, Kofi was always our guy as far as Dylan goes. And man, I got flack. You know, he's not watching. He's watching a celebration for real. Get over it. Like it was just so beautiful. And Woods made me cry more than anything else, because Woods knew how much Kofi deserved that, how long they'd all worked for that, and Woods been in this longer than either one of them. So it was just such a pure, raw, organic moment. You don't get that in 2009. You don't.
No. So Kofi's won the WWE Championship. Big E's the current WWE Champion. I really hope they go all in with Woods, because I want him to win King of the Ring. At some point, I would like Woods to win the WWE Championship, right? Because he is the absolute most underrated part of the New Day. Like everybody sings the praises of Kofi. Everybody sings the praises of Big E. I've been singing the praises of Woods since like they first turned heel. Like it's like Woods is not just a bit player here. Like he is an important part of this group. And he's incredibly athletic on top of it. Like he is great in the ring. Like watch his match against Ricochet, watch his match against Jinder, watch his match against Balor tomorrow in the King of the Ring finals. He is going to steal the show, and Woods deserves that moment just as much as the other two members of the New Day. Woods
has been a wonderful utility player throughout his career. You figure he had to step in and defend the TNA tag titles when Pac-Man Jones' football team went, you can't do this, Adam. Sorry. And then he ended up getting a reign for real with the Had to.
And the final question we're going to ask, unless, of course, somebody sends a super chat. Do you think Cesaro should get a world championship run? Yes.
Yes. Please.
I would have been fine if he would have beat Roman this year. I would have been completely fine with it.
One of the few I would have been okay with beating Roman, for real.
Yeah. Like, that would have been fun. All right. Yep. Everybody, thank you very much. Jeff, you're going to queue up the end video, I'm guessing.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to take all the graphics off screen because you don't need them anymore. And we thank you very much for joining us. We are going to be back next week with a special Halloween episode of the Greg Cherry Show. And then,
with any luck, we'll be celebrating Chucky helping Braun Breaker become the NXT champion.
That would be perfect. But until then, until our Halloween episode, and then we get into Greg Cherry's birthday week, the week after, which kicks off with the Greg Cherry Show on Wednesday, and then the WTC tournaments begins on Thursday, and then my birthday is the next day, so send me gifts. I'm kidding. You don't have to send me gifts. I'm not
super chats.
Yeah, there you go. That'll be my birthday gift. So we look forward to you guys joining us for that, and we thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week right here on the Greg Cherry Show.